Hi, welcome back to Crimson Glass on YouTube. It's that time of the month again. We're going to do our Site and Story status update where I tell you the state of things and how they got there and where we were going from there. And it's 2020, so you should probably strap in. It's been a weird month. So let's get started with my general writing update. Last month, I said that I was kind of having some relatively high hopes for November. I am a teacher, and as if you didn't know, if you've been here once or twice. And starting on November 16th, I wasn't supposed to have students, in the sense that I was going to be given a 15-day cycle where I was supposed to cover other teachers in the building who were absent, because we've been having trouble getting subs. So I was supposed to go in each day, get a new assignment, and go provide coverage, which would give me more prep time to do content for my own class, and it just meant that I didn't have to do grades for my own students. Listen, I was really hoping that kind of having that little bit of a downtime during the middle of the month would give me some time, plus the days off, with being off right around the election and being off for Thanksgiving. Like, this should have been a time when I really could have met my goals. Well, so that went off the rails pretty quick. The first week of November was the election, so if you lived through that election, you know what I'm talking about. So there's no more needs to be said on that. 4 days straight, I just stared at my TV screen and could not think. After that, I went back to work, and then I got exposed to the coronavirus. And I laugh because there's a story here, and we'll tell in a minute. But November 13th was my last day in the classroom. After that, I went on quarantine, and by the time my quarantine was over, my school district had shut down. We are closed until January 8th. In addition, I ended up covering a science class with a teacher who was out until December 16th, and for some reason, I didn't get left a single lesson plan. So I had to do all of the lesson planning and the grades, which I was not anticipating. So I had to do that in addition to my own content for my own classes. So November was kind of a bit of a month, and I had factored in the fact that I would be more stressed out during November. I'm not going to lie, but I really kind of, I was arrogant in hoping that I wouldn't end up on quarantine. I got tested. We're good. I'm negative. My quarantine came out. My nieces were also exposed at their school. My sister was exposed by somebody she knows. And thank God my entire family is, as of the moment, clear. We all went through our quarantine. We got, my sister got tested too. We're all good, which, is a lot to ask. And, we got all that news by Thanksgiving. So it was just nice to have that going into Thanksgiving. But it just meant that even when I wanted to write, I couldn't. That being said, there's still reason to hope, because while I did not get what I wanted to get done, I did do a lot of writing. So we'll talk about that when we get to individual stories, when I talk individually about Fool Me Twice. But generally, my writing has come and gone. There have been days when I just couldn't. Like, even yesterday, I was all ready to go. I'd finished my remote teaching for the day. I went grocery shopping, and I came home, and I just couldn't do it. And tonight, I'm going to write, but, I'm tired, and it's hard, and I'm really getting frustrated with that, but, I'm hoping to get past that, because I do have a plan. So we'll talk about it. So I am going to write, but I'm going to give myself a little bit of a break. So I'm filming this right away after school. So then I'm going to take a break from my computer. So let me see. All right. And then Flash Fiction kind of went all over the place. We'll talk about all of that. November was a lot. And it turns out my headphones are cursed. And let me tell you this quick story about the cursed headphones. Last year, when I was teaching ELA in a different district, my students loved using headphones for independent work, and not all students had their own. So we had a class set, and as the year went on, because they were cheap, they got a little bit crappy. A lot of them died. We were really running low. And so my kids have been really good. They had really earned it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take a little bit of my own money. I'm going to buy a class set of headphones. They were supposed to be delivered March 9th. They got delayed in delivery. And if you're noticing that date, you should pay attention, because on March 11th, the NBA shut down. And it is that point that I kind of had a feeling we might be shut down soon too. I had no idea that we would never go back. The headphones got delivered on Monday, March 16th, was my district's last day in the building for the entire year. Headphones arrived, sat in my house for 6 months. And then I got this new job, and I hadn't needed the headphones, so I didn't bring them in. I brought them in on November 12th. Which was my last day in the building. November 13th is a remote teaching day for us. So I guess my last day was actually November 12th. I brought them in November 12th. That was my last day in the building. they're cursed, so we just can't use them anymore. This next section is where I usually talk about the site and the channel. I'm also going to start throwing in Patreon here because I'm getting better and better at formalizing the benefits because I now have a writing process. So the easy stuff is I didn't get a chance to do any of the channel content I wanted to do. I wanted to make NaNoWriMo videos, but you know, it just did not happen. I also, like, I'd like to make more regular content, but to be honest, you guys don't come here for that. And as much as I enjoy making them, I can't really put the time aside for right now. But I do enjoy making the story videos, so I'm hoping to get back into them. At, you know, just kind of like finding an hour here and there. And I'm getting better at editing, and I'm getting better at filming. So, like, I'm learning how to maximize my time. So I'm hopeful that I'll be able to handle that. Site work, it's on hiatus. If I get to it on the winter break, great. Probably not looking at it again until spring or summer. So other than finishing up Fool Me Twice's page, which hasn't been done yet, that's the only thing that's going to happen. Patreon, I am revising the tiers starting January 1st, 2021. I am still working on all of the individual benefits. So when I actually do finish that, I'm going to put out a video that talks you guys through the tiers and explains them. So stay tuned for those. I'm going to have exclusive and early access benefits for every single tier. It ranges from $1 to $10. All right. So site and story, channel, Patreon, all this extra stuff. It's kind of been on life support the last couple of months, but it is what it is. Let's get into the individual stories. Let's start with Flash Fiction because I think that needs the most discussion. I made a mistake. In November, I remember telling Ange at the end of October that I really kind of thought I was going to have to put Flash Fiction on hold. And I should have done that. I think I really hope that I would eventually just fall into a schedule where I was comfortable writing Fool Me Twice in the afternoon when I came home from school and then working on Flash Fiction for an hour to 20 minutes at night. And it never happened. And I really don't know what made me think I would. I really thought that because two of them were going to be on Saturdays and Sundays, that it would be okay to do Fridays because it was remote teaching, which was a little bit easier. And Mondays aren't as jam-packed as, I'm not usually as tired on Monday nights as I am, the rest of the week. So, I made some choices with Flash Fiction I really shouldn't have. You know, we live and we learn is what the moral of that story is. So here's the deal. The plan is that right now they are on hold and we're going to reset. I'm going to not even think about them until I am done the first draft of Fool Me Twice, which we'll talk about. And then when I'm done the first draft of Fool Me Twice, the last 2 weeks of December are going to be my resetting for 2021. I got a couple of projects I'm going to talk about when we get to the other parts of the stuff. We'll get there. But one of the things I'm also going to look at is just Flash Fiction. And I'm going to see which story is closest to being done. And that's going to come back faster. Honestly, it's probably a shot in the dark because that's not too far off from being done. And then I'm going to do one at a time until they're done. And then we're not bringing them back. And everything will go into revisions. And I'm going to start really focusing on spending the rest of the school year. When we talk about Flash Fiction, it's going to be what am I revising from the summer and the fall. So that's really the kind of the plan there. And then I'll worry about them on Saturdays and Sundays. They're not even, and then we'll come back next summer, we'll come back with some stuff. And, so I honestly didn't think I was going to be full-time working again this year when I kept going with the Flash Fictions. And as soon as I realized I really should have made some changes to my schedule. But, hubris is a beautiful thing. So that's Flash Fiction. I'm not entirely sure when they'll be back. I'll have more information for you guys at a later date. So let's talk about Fool Me Twice. And in order to talk about Fool Me Twice, I want to really talk about the process of writing it. So we're going to recap for a minute and talk about book one and when I started it. So I started really thinking about the story, I guess, around August 1st, whenever I finished the alpha draft for Mad World. So I'm going to say maybe August 6th. So I worked on it from August to the end of September, and I wrote out plot lines, and I wrote out character beats, and I broke down chapter by chapter, scene by scene. I did soundtracks. This story was the most in-depthly realized story I've ever planned. And when I sat down to write it on October 1st, I knew that writing this first draft was going to be an uphill battle. Not because the story has any problems. It's because my schedule is what it is. I'm starting a brand new job. You guys have heard this before. And I just didn't know what my schedule or my energy level was going to look like. And it's 2020, so you don't ever get it. Nothing ever stays the same for more than a minute. as soon as I kind of got a handle on what I was doing, I got quarantined, and then my school got shut down, and I got handed a science class that I had to plan. Like, every time you kind of have a handle on everything, the entire world changes. So it's about being kind of on it. Like I said, the good news is that, like, Fool Me Twice is still okay. I didn't get as far in October as I needed to get to be done by the end of November. And then November didn't go as well as I had wanted it to. So we are at least 2 weeks behind my original date. I'm going to finish it by December 15th or 16th. I'm not going to commit to either date because, like, I didn't write yesterday, and I'm not really, like, I'm going to write tonight, but I'm not sure if I'm going to finish a chapter. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm going to be finishing around December 14th. And I'll get more into how that's been going in a different video because my iPad is out of storage and I don't want to lose this video. I was almost done filming this section and then it turned off and I lost everything, which is kind of frustrating. So at the moment, I'm not missing my February deadline. I did not tie myself to a specific date because I didn't know exactly when I was going to finish things. So I'm either going to be publishing it the 2nd, the 9th, the 16th, or the 23rd. It's probably going to be the 16th. But if I do it the 23rd, it gives me like 7 full weeks of revision because I'm going to take the last 2 weeks of December off, like I said, and I'm not going to touch Fool Me Twice until January because I really want to come at it with fresh eyes so revisions are a little bit cleaner. So, Fool Me Twice is going good. I'm really enjoying writing it. I'm going to talk more about it in another video, but you guys should just know that there's no way, like, don't worry about any of that. I wrote like 62,000 words for Fool Me Twice, and the story is a little over 100K already. So, like, we're making progress. It's just 2020 is not here to make life easier for any of us. The next thing I want to talk about is Mad World Book 4. So I haven't looked at this since early October. At the time, I was working on constructing the beta draft in the sense that I was like breaking it down scene by scene, beat by beat to see what I was keeping, what I was revising, what would need to be added. And I didn't finish doing that. And until I finish doing that, I can't really get a sense of what the project looked like or how much time or energy I'm going to need. I still want to write this story in the background. Like, I don't want to officially take anything off the schedule in order to work on it. But, you know, I'll know more in January. At the moment, if I can't officially finish it, I'm going to make it my June and July project. So Damage is going to get shoved down the road a little bit. Story of its life. So, you'll probably see it. You'll see it sometime in the fall at the latest. And then the last project we're going to talk about is For the Broken Girl Book 2. I'm putting this into production on December 16th, and I'm going to go into discovery until January 31st with an eye of starting the first draft on February 1st. We'll see how, that largely depends on Fool Me Twice's revision schedule. We'll see. But if I start it on February 1st, I should finish it by March 31st. It usually takes me about 2 months to do a draft as long as, like, the world cooperates. So, hey, you know, like, these things. And then that means it'll be out May or June, depending on revisions. So kind of like basically when you got it last year. So yeah, that's the individual story update. So if you have any questions about anything else that I haven't covered, please let me know below by commenting on the video or replying to this post. All right, so that's December's 2020 update. When you guys next see me, we're not gonna have a January 2020 update. So what I usually do is we're gonna do a year in the review. And then we're going to do the year ahead. And I'm going to look and see what my goals were in last year and how they worked out. I think I largely met most of my goals, so I'm pretty happy about that. And I'm going to set out my larger goals for the entire year, just kind of a state of things. I'm really happy, like, just kind of a preview of this. Like, I'm really, like, 2020 was a hell in the handbasket, and we all kind of really struggled. But the one place where I didn't was my writing. And that's largely due to, you know, my community. My Patreons who support me, my beta, and who just always stays, like, right there, ready to go with any crazy thing I've got coming up, even though she did tell me repeatedly not to do the flash fictions. Like, she told me, so, like, it's not like I can say I didn't know. And, you know, just you guys here everywhere, like, I just creatively, this is one of the best years of my life. Everywhere else it's been pretty shitty, but you guys have made it one of the best years of writing. I published 2 full novels already, and I'm almost done my 3rd. Like, that's kind of crazy, right? I've never done that before, and that's because of you guys. So thank you. I'm going to see you guys at the end of the month. I will be checking in midway through the month with a Patreon video to talk about, not a video about Patreon, to kind of talk about the levels. And then we are also going to have a couple of Fool Me Twice updates. I'll just do a couple of story videos throughout the month of December. I've gotten a lot better. I think I said somewhere earlier in the video about just maximizing how to film and edit, so we're good to go. So thank you. I will see you after during the holidays, and I'm going to finish my tea and relax and get ready to write. Bye.